Right here. A whole lot is happening. At 4 p.m. we'll have with us Sando County Representative Thomas Romeo Quia. His county, a whole lot of things happening there. We'll talk about them and some of what has obtained so far up Capitol Hill. At 5 p.m. we'll have Councillor Tiawan Gonglo and John Stewart Clamasing. We'll be ending our discussions that we've started as of 5 p.m. Before that, everything else. And oh my word, what a Champions League classic last night. I am told General Prince Charles Johnson was in a very cold, the very good, not if like a JAC, very good AC, very cold, freezing, but he was sweating. What? Freezing but sweating. He was not drinking anything. Inter Milan, we'll come to that later. The okay conversation is right here. If you Barcelona person, I know you can listen to me, and I know your name. I'm coming. You are thinking only Madrid I can throw. Political and professional, tabula rasa and buccaneers. Kenya's only Cardinal John Ju will not participate in the upcoming papal election despite being eligible due to health issues. The Catholic Church in Kenya has confirmed. The statement came after Nju, who is 79, told in local newspaper he had not been invited to the conclave and did not know why. The Nairobi Archdiocese later stated he had indeed been invited but was unable to travel to Rome for health reasons. Cardinal Nju, who retired from his post as Archbishop of Nairobi in 2021, is one of only 2 eligible cardinals not attending the conclave, which would determine the successor to Pope Francis, who died last month. Of course, it is ongoing. Mass took place, other ceremonies are taking place, and then the cardinals, all attired in their lovely reddish robes and priestly emoluments and all those kinds of things. The priestly paraphernalia will be making it in a room where they will vote. I believe that will be off camera. Who to be the next Pope of the Catholic Church. I'm happy. Now, once in my life, I was able to go to the Vatican and see how it looks. It is a melting point of history, of modernity, futurism, all put together in one, but mostly led by the ancient. Sudan has cut diplomatic ties with the United Arab Emirates, accusing the Gulf nation of backing its rival, the paramilitary rapid support forces, in its ongoing civil war. The move comes after RSF drone strikes on Port Sudan targeted key infrastructure, including an airport and naval base. Sudan's defense minister claimed that the UAE was violating national sovereignty by supporting the RSF. He claimed the UAE denies. The Sudanese ambassador will be recalled and all diplomatic missions in the UAE will be closed. Meanwhile, the UN's top court dismissed Sudan's genocide case against the UAE due to jurisdictional limitations. The conflict, which is now in its second year, has killed tens of thousands of people, displaced 12.6 million according to the UN, and caused famine across parts of the country. Okay, so we come back, share the video, invite others to join and tell us where you're watching from, where you're following from. Let's take a very quick break with some of our sponsors. We'll take some and then we'll take others later. So we take these ones right now. When we come back, we take the fact check if it is here, and then we continue only on the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. This quick break, stick and stay, don't go anywhere.
Attention all small business owners in Liberia. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Accelerate 360, the program designed to boost your access to financing and expand your market reach. Over the next 3 years, Accelerate 360 will support 165 SMEs like yours. The program also includes business development service providers who have applied to be selected for the program. Don't miss this opportunity to grow your business and make a lasting impact. Visit our website at www.accelerate.liberia.com or call 0771 360 360. Accelerate 360, empowering Liberia's entrepreneurs one business at a time. Accelerate 360 is sponsored by the Government of Liberia through the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and the World Bank under the LIFT project.
This entire telephone business, I'm really tired because I will buy my recharge card and recharge, but the network will just be going on and off and on and off. I really don't know what to do. These phone companies are just taking our money without giving us any good service, and there is no one to even talk for us.
Oh, my friend, haven't you heard about the Liberia Telecommunication Authority, the LTA?
What is that? Is that someone's name or what?
Eba, you be on time. The Liberia Telecommunication Authority, the LTA, is the government office that controls this whole telephone business in the country. The new law the LTA sign says we deserve value for our money. If the service you are getting is not good, inform your phone company first. If they do not do anything about it, call the LTA Consumer Support Center on 2244 or send an email to consumersupport@lta.gov.lr, because quality of service is a consumer's right.
A message from the Liberia Telecommunications Authority.
Hey, they're rushing. Why are you rushing to so?
You, Judy, don't give me hard time, man. I'm going to the bank to get my cash because the bank was so close.
You can use the ATM?
My ATM card expired ever since.
My man, you don't need ATM card. Just use the mobile app and generate an e-token. All you have to do is to just log on the app, you click on Express Cash. Then you select ATM. From there now you select Generate e-token. Then you select the account you want the money to come from. From there you select the currency that you want. If the Liberian dollars or US dollars. Then you put in the amount that you want, whether $10 or $20, you put it in and generate your e-token. It's simple, like 8 numbers that will come to you. When you get that number, just go to any ATM there. All you have to do is to just select the C Express Cash on the ATM now. The place where you're supposed to put your ATM pin, that way you put that 8 number. Then it will ask you for the amount. That money where you generated, that money will come with the ATM will pay you.
So simple. Echo Banners for me again. I will always make use of the express service big time. Echo Bank, the Pan-African Bank.
You pay attention. All of us that can use the road. If you're driving or using motorbike or even keke, if they're in a city or even on a highway, it's very important to know the rules of driving. The simple rules that can keep all of us safe. You must always wear your seatbelt. But rather, you and the person behind you must always wear your helmet. And rather, don't forget your reflective jacket. Speeding is general good because your life and that of the loved one may be inside too. Don't speed even if you're in a city or on a highway. Don't drink or take in any substance before driving. So if you drink alcohol, don't drive. Or if that you driving, don't drink. Don't overload a car. It can lead to serious accident. Look for the red light and stop sign. Don't be close behind the other car on the road. Always stay far behind the car in front of you. It will give you more time to know what thing to do. If the car in front of you just stop jelly down, always show the signal sign so the other driver then can know what thing you want to do. No texting, no calling, no setting the radio while driving. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. All the thing here will look simple, but it can change in no time when you're not paying attention. Drive safe, be focused, and respect the rules of the road. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Transport with funding from the National Road Fund of Liberia. Thanks for watching.
Okay, welcome back. The OK conversation. Where's our fact check? My people need to let me know. I'm not seeing it. Okay. It looks like we don't have it today. That's what it looks like. Okay. I'm not seeing it where it is supposed to be. So, yep. So we let me play this Liberian song. I'm told it was done a couple of years ago, but it's a very powerful worship. It's one of the best group songs that I've heard. You know, Bernice Blackie featuring some very, very inspirational worship singers in the country. Okay, good. So bear with me. It is a song I'm trying to bring now. Let me bring that song for all of us. Okay, she has Jesse Pratt on it. She has Israel Zazé, Samuel Lynn Wilson, Joseph Nimlin. All of them, they are on this song. You know, what a song it is. What a song. Listen to it. Powerful Liberian worship to just encourage. We serve a God, you know. If you're serving something else, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those of us who know that we are serving God. If you're serving something like that under your bed, that one there is up to you. But we who serve God. Powerful song. I was like, God, looks like people slept on this. That's what people haven't forgotten you. Now, so for a Muslim to share a Christian pastor's prophecy and believe it, only football can do that kind of thing. So whether it was a comedy, you know, a comic prophecy also, I don't know, but my message cover shared this prophecy that the Italian team will give the Spanish team hard time, but the Spanish team will reach the final and will win the Champions League. She shared it. I was like, okay.
Our God is greater. Our God is stronger.
I'm told the LFA president Mustafa Raji. What? The man who scored the equalizing goal. You know, one of my boys who we exercise together every morning. So the man said we're going to eat show on Inter. Yeah, they call him man, but man say we're going to eat show on Inter Milan. So when they took the 3-2 lead, he messaged me. He said, "Chi, hey, I told you, eating show in a minute."
Open stores. I serve a God who always fight for
Then again, and he said, "I lost the show by mistake, yeah." This morning we went to exercise. The man can't even talk to anybody.
God of Moses. I serve a God who fights for his people. Yeah. I serve a God.
The man who can let you earn money, the man said, not because of the game, but sometimes as a man, you gotta be focused on something. What the?
Who opens doors?
Bishop David, who's based at the man, was praying yesterday. God in here is gonna pray that Inter Milan pastors prayer got her. Reverend Gadia Johnson. CIC, all of them. You know, Barcelona get plenty of fans, small children, all of them. Messi, them business, some of you told them business. Ronaldinho, so they get plenty of fans in Liberia, you know. And they can be noisy there too. So the town was very, very quiet. My friends at SIB, the head office, right here. Yes, Arrow. What? The man who scored the equalizing goal, the man beat cancer twice. The man was an alcoholic. He beat that. 37 years of age, the man scored his only European goal ever. And that was against Barcelona. Yeah, man. We're standing in the name of the Lord. Then at OKF and Yanti Togba, big Barcelona man. Formerly here as well, Joseph Daniels. James Napla Poso Fala. Follow Tambakpaki, but I'm the first who can deal with my own team. We are FCC, so we understand how you will want shame the shameless. The book can say, well, you can shame the shameless. Councillor Michael Kokbo, I hear his wife wanted to throw him, but she said their son and they made the two of them for Baza, so she won't laugh at them. She can't laugh too much. Only she and the two men in her, so she can try. Learn from me, eh? The whole football business, I can take it for fun. The way some of you can take it very serious. I learned my lesson way back ever since. Oh, I should tell you people the story. When Chelsea used to be Chelsea, Jose Mourinho, I remember Champions League, it was semi-final again. Yeah. The first, like I told you, something. Second, like we showed now, say, yeah, we're coming to go fun. Who fights? So I learned lesson, yo. I didn't eat my food at that time. I was living in New Georgia Golf. We went to watch a game. We very sure. I think the be on some penalty or something. Huh? Oh, I think I was on the field of play. Something. I don't remember exactly. But that game, I think someone used hand to stop something. Yeah. I could not eat. I did not imagine I was hungry. I didn't eat my food. I said, let me go watch the game for my comeback. The game finished now. My whole appetite was lost. I was feeling terrible and bad. That was why. Was it 2009 or so? Something around there? Yeah, since that time, no. And we say our condolences to. We've also heard that somebody lost their life in Grand Jeddah County. Our condolences. Oh, Representative Muka Kamara, they say you Barcelona, man. Long time I haven't heard from you. Even though we can know what the NSA put, but the General Johnson go to work today. You please check on here. Yeah. Okay, that was the fun of it. When you lose, we throw you here. I used to it. Don't feel bad. Okay, so a whole lot of things. One, shortly I will go to an entity. Yeah, that's it. The Liverpool had the Bears 1-0 that game. Yeah, goals. Some kind of goals. Yeah, Garrison. Yeah, that's it. I remember. Yeah, man. Now, shortly we'll call the spokesperson of GC as a governance commission. What are they doing at the entity? But quick, we got this disturbing news that is not strange. It always happens. It is happening in many places. From Kakata in Magibi County, how people are stealing the crushed rocks from the road. You know, they can put the crushed rock on the road before they compact it and do all of the pavement mechanisms required. But we came to realize that the engineers, according to reporters from that place, have been complaining. People are stealing the crushed rocks on the road. You do it everywhere. What is that? Like, how do we continue to do that kind of thing? It is way beyond me. Development is taking place. They do it. I've read from people that similar thing is happening on the RIA road. In the nighttime, people go, you steal the crush right from the road. They go put it in bag to go sell it. Yeah, man. So the government will have to spend additional money or pay the contractors additional money to get more of that thing. How do we treat the country like that? And some people can see it. They will not talk. Those kinds of people do not think they're doing something wrong. They think, oh, that government thing, they will still bring some more. But no, that should not be happening. Not at all. No way. You know, it is not okay. And it has to stop. We also know that the Liberia National Police Bong Detachment has charged and sent to court to Burkinabe for allegedly being involved in illegal and hazardous mining operations in Bankona area of District 4 in Bong County. Okay, we'll see how that case plays out. Now, there is something coming in from the United States of America. Remember our class raise about it on this FC Barcelona issue and present the show. But another show going on. And Senator Dillon says I should join Arsenal to win. Y'all umpire, you know? Yeah. You people were doing well, but well, that PSG looking, it's like this may turn out to be PSG's year. I think if they win Champions League for the first time, I believe it should be okay now, man. Inter, they're very old. They can't really play, but they seem to know how to score. Yeah. You know, like when they really need it, they seem to know how how to score. That is their strength. So I don't know. But let's see. But is the PSG are going to cross Arsenal? So when they cross Arsenal now, you say, but I'm not a fan of Madrid. You can hear me trolling Madrid. I'm not a Madrid fan. I'm a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. So everywhere he goes, I will support. Once he leaves, I know they myself are going. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the US. So, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, they call them ICE. Have you heard about those people? Okay. They are the people who sometimes you can get the visa. And you can reach to the airport in America, then they look at you for long. Look at you, check some things, and say you can't enter. But U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, in partnership with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and Department of Justice Diplomatic Security Service, arrested 3 illegal aliens. They are aliens, they are illegal, during routine daily operations April 21 in Northern Virginia. Among those arrested were an illegally present Salvadorian national with prior drug convictions and an illegally present Liberian national wanted in his home country for documents fraud. Authorities also apprehended an additional illegally present Salvadorian alien. So this Liberian here has been named as Eric Sumo, 51-year-old man, an illegal Liberian alien. Why are they always catching them in these things? He is wanted for documents fraud to include fraudulently possessing and manufacturing U.S. visas. That is what the guy is wanted for back home. Let's go further. Let me take you further. What has the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia said about this? The U.S. Embassy in Monrovia welcomes the recent announcement from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, regarding the arrest and removal of a fugitive wanted in Liberia for producing and selling fraudulent documents. This action was taken pursuant to a Liberian Interpol diffusion, underscoring the strong international cooperation between law enforcement partners. We extend our sincere appreciation to the Liberia National Police and the Ministry of Justice for their critical support and cooperation in this case. Their efforts continue to be vital in protecting the integrity of Liberia's identity documents and safeguarding the rule of law. Okay, so the gentleman, the way it looks, is that he's going to be brought back. He's going to be tried. So Eric Sumo, 51 years old, has been arrested, and he will be removed from the U.S. according to the 1st of Arret. And that means he will be deported to the country. He will face justice here. You are already needed. Then you find your way some kind of way illegally. You stay in the people country and all of that. Yeah. Okay. We have a whole lot of things to run over. Let's go to. So today is the birthday of my man Anthony Pale. You know, Anthony Pale of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, somewhere there in the ECOWAS Bureau. Sometimes he's in Nigeria and all that. We say glorious birthday. Yesterday was his wife's birthday as well. So they were just back to back, you know. Back to back. They were back to back. And they chose each other just like that. Let's go to GC, Governance Commission. Governance Commission, what are they doing? We have Parker Johnson, I believe the spokesperson of Governance Commission. Parker, am I right?
Yes, this is Parker Johnson on the line.
Okay. Parker, I've been seeing some internal memos of your institution. asking people to reapply and all those kinds of things. Tell us what is going on.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Of recent, we'll be in the media, from one of our employees, doing accusation from one station to another. But we wish to clarify here that the situation at the Governance Commission is under control. The process is a very transparent process, and it is not a process that it's not a stand-alone process. You know, the General Auditing Commission recently completed a thorough audit of the Governance Commission covering the period July 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2023. The audit reported that GC did not follow the employee handbook or some other things here. But specifically, the audit query pointed out that GC skipped key steps required for competitive recruitment process, including the important step of advertising job vacancy in the newspaper and others. But the query report came to the institution. This is an anti-graft institution in the sense that we are part of a lot of makeup of government that wish transparency and accountability. And with this kind of report, the commission leadership said, okay, this is a query, but we can fix it. Yeah, it's a part administration, but we can fix it. Yeah, nothing's but we can fix it. Saying you want us to be able to make sure that these things are in the right form and practice manner that you want it, that is advertised position and go through the procedure.
Was the audit report specific about the period of employment and high issues?
Yes, the audit report was specific, and in 2021 they highlighted 13 hires that got afford, and in 2022 they also highlighted 3, and in 2023 they highlighted 63, and that the number is alarming. Yeah. So the board of commissioners in their wisdom said, look, we can reprocess our people. They have been working with us for 2-3 years already. They know everything about the governance commission, and we want to believe that we'll open this thing. It's an advantage for them. I said those who don't want to.
So in a total, how many persons are expected to go through this process?
This is the audit report, but the number is not to this status now. The reason is that there are people who resign before this whole audit report thing came.
Okay.
Yeah, and even some people pass up. Yeah.
So currently, how many people approximately are being affected by this?
Okay, I'm not going to give you the exact, but I can tell you that it is around 66 to 70.
Okay.
Between there.
Some
reason for that, listen.
Yeah.
Reason for that. Reason for that is, in this number, like I told you, people die. And in this number,
you said that. We understand that point. Yeah, because of time, I just want to go to the key thing. Some of these people are seeing this as targeting them, that they were competitively recruited and all those kinds of things. The commission is trying to go after them because the previous administration employed them, so that the commission will allegedly bring in its own people and all of that. What do you say to those claims?
Well, I want to say here that this is Roman, this is false, and it got no iota of truth in it. You know, the commission decided to address this problem. The commission started as an independent entity and Liberia's premier policy maker within the government of Liberia, and as explicitly articulated in the Legislative Act of 2007, they established a commission. they decided to take this step so that we can be able to correct what went wrong. And they have not targeted anybody. That's why they say, you do the reapplication and let go through the process, yes. And this will be an advantage for you that be in here, even though they are demanding some outside publication of the whole advertisement. This action reflects GC's strong commitment to fixing the issues highlighted in the audit query. The reapplication period they said from May 1st to the 15th, open. In fact, right now I would say it's ongoing. But Julia, what I want to say to you is that we understand that I'm also affected indirectly.
How?
From the query report. Yeah. But I'm not going to go around crossing there. But what happened is that work with administration and go through the process.
Yeah, when you say you are affected, what does that mean?
Look, the query report got different sections. But to begin with, the recruitment process have to be the first. You have to own your people first. Then before you can start going through some other things like what you call credential audit and other stuff. I mean, the whole process is open and transparent. It got nothing attached for targeting anybody.
Okay, nothing attached for targeting anybody. Thanks. Thanks so kindly, Parker. We will keep in touch. Hopefully, if some of those who think they're being targeted are willing to come on, we will bring them on. And at some point in time, if we need to bring you on, we'll bring you on as well.
Just before we can go, Julius, thank you very much. GC is under obligation, even in your handbook, in her audit practices. The commission is to comply with all the applicable laws, and even the employees should do suit. So I can assure you that this is an interagency complementary action. One integrated institution can tell you say you're going wrong on this, and you say I can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So that the fear go away. I really how to call it.
Are you Parker Johnson reapplying to?
No, I'm not reapplying.
Yeah, but you say. But
we'll talk that.
No, but that reapplying people get the issue because you say you are affected somehow. So I thought you were reapplying too.
GC will have to own them properly through the process.
Okay, own them properly through this process. Thanks so kindly, Parker Johnson, for providing that from the end of the GC. I know this will run next week. Hopefully, if some of those affected think want to come and explain more, we certainly avail the platform to them and also bring in GC. So there is also this from the National Port Authority. Let's read this very quickly. We have some very tough discussion ahead. Okay. Where is that thing again? It wants to get lost too. No, don't get lost. We have it here. Okay. This is the OK Conversation on OK FM 99.5. I don't have this thing. But so the National Port Authority has made some move that in Morocco. Okay, let's see if this is what we're looking for. I'm not seeing what I want to see, but I should really have it. I don't know how it got missing. I do not know how it got missing. Okay, this is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Okay. The internet is not even helping. Okay. I thought it was on their page, but I'm not seeing it. So I will just read what is on the manager's page. This is what he said. Glory to the Almighty God. We say a big thank you to His Excellency President JMB Senior for trusting us to serve. Thank you, Your Majesty King Mohammed VI, for providing us the environment and the technology. To the folks at Tangier Med Engineering, this is a historic day for both of our organizations. This agreement sets the stage for a game-changing port development industry in Liberia. We really do appreciate your commitment to this vital partnership. We are thrilled for what's coming and couldn't have started with any organization better than yours. Okay, good. So there were details that I saw and I had somewhere. And the last thing I'm seeing on this looks like an ONPA page. How many National Port Authority of Liberia pages do you people have? Yeah, this other page looks like it is an O1. Okay. It has up to 2024 December. Okay, I think I have what I was looking for. So this is it. Liberia signs landmark port deal with Morocco's Tangier Med to transform Freeport of Monrovia and the Port of Buchanan infrastructure. The Republic of Liberia has taken a major leap toward transforming its maritime and trade infrastructure with the official signing of a landmark port modernization agreement with Tangier Med Engineering, the technical subsidiary of Morocco's globally renowned Tangier Med Port Authority. The agreement formalized today in Tangier paves the way for the full-scale implementation of a comprehensive master plan for the Freeport of Monrovia and the Port of Buchanan. This transformational deal, led by the National Port Authority under the stewardship of Managing Director Honorable Sekou Hossein Dukle, aligns directly with President Joseph Numa Boakai's arrest agenda for inclusive development, particularly in the pillars of infrastructure renewal, regional integration, and sustainable economic growth. The master plan, the result of months of intensive technical collaboration, outlines a phased, future-focused redevelopment of key port assets. These include the modernization of container terminals, cargo berths, and warehousing systems, as well as the deployment of smart logistics platforms, advanced security infrastructure, and green energy solutions. Dredging and expansion works will also enhance the port's ability to accommodate larger vessels and increase trade volumes, improving Liberia's competitiveness along West Africa's maritime corridor. This agreement is more than an infrastructure project. It is a national milestone, said NPA Managing Director Sekou H. Dukle. By investing in world-class port facilities, we are laying the foundation for job creation, investment attraction, and sustainable growth that This is the arrest agenda in action, accelerating recovery, reform, and economic self-sufficiency. The upgrade is expected to significantly improve Liberia's logistics performance, reduce cargo clearance delays, increase operational capacity, and digitize port and customs services, bringing efficiency, transparency, and reliability to maritime trade. The master plan also positions Liberia to serve as a regional gateway for landlocked countries such as Mali and Guinea, enhancing its role in the regional economic architecture. Present at the signing were key Liberian stakeholders, including Senator Momo T. Cyrus, Chairman on National Security, Representative Austin B. Taylor, Chairman on Maritime, Representative Sekou Kane, Chairman on Executive, Mr. Sekou Bikole, NPA's Executive Director for Government and International Affairs, and Mr. Muniru Mnye, Infrastructure Technician and Support Consultant. They were joined by Liberia's Ambassador to Morocco, John J. Faya, and Mr. Emmanuel Lame, Chargé d'Affaires in Rabat, whose diplomatic efforts were vital to the agreement's success. As Liberia begins the implementation phase of this ambitious port redevelopment, the government and the MPA reaffirmed their commitment to transparent execution, local capacity building, and inclusive economic participation, ensuring that the benefits of modern maritime infrastructure reach every corner of the nation. It is a long release. I thought it would have had like timelines, when is it starting, when is it expected to end, also figures, how is it going to be finalized, because it is an agreement that has already been signed. But I've been seeing some back and forths to this as well. I've been seeing some back and forths, but let's speak with somebody who should know about these things. That person is Malcolm Scott, who used to be the spokesperson of the NPA. Why are we having back and forth on something that is believed to be a milestone, or is supposed to be a milestone achievement? Why are we not getting him? Okay, seem to be having. What's happening with Orange Internet, Lone Star Internet, especially Orange? I don't know. What's happening with them? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. We always get these. I don't know. It is not really okay. It is not okay. We're supposed to speak with him shortly before we go to our final talking point. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us Malcolm. Welcome.
Thank you, Julius. You're absolutely right. It seems there is an issue with the internet. There is probably some technical glitch. I noticed that the broadcast is off and on. But I'm glad that you've joined me finally. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, okay. Thanks so kindly. Yeah, it is quite serious here. But fantastic achievement for the port entering this agreement for some redevelopment initiatives. Should be good, isn't it?
Right. Absolutely, it should be good.
Malcolm?
Julius?
Yeah. You can say what you said, yeah?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. It should be good, but the conditions for which it should be good should speak to the goodness of it.
What do you mean?
And there are preconditions. Well, so what do I mean is that there must be credits and attributes to originators of major agreements that are tied to development. And in an age of an evolving world of advanced technology, digitization, the internet of good journalism, public relations is an exact science, Julius. And the science of public relations speaks to undeniable and undisputed facts that could be, seen as a raw testimony of events of yesteryears and today. What do I mean is that I think the NPA, without wanting, they actually involved with explosive form of terrible public relations. And it's also a form of grandstanding, for the past 1 or 2 years now. And they are naked. Of drama.
Sorry, when you were speaking, there was a call that came in. I think I should be able to call you directly, but let's give it a try again. What did you say?
I could say quickly about US number, and once you call directly, if you can, there will be no interruption or disruption.
Yeah, but just say what you said first. Yeah, but while we're talking, send it in case there is an issue. Then I will just call you direct.
So what I was saying is that in spite of what I said earlier on, and without wanting to talk down on the NPA, I think that institution is involved with explosive form of terrible public relations. And I see that as a grandstanding. And, for the past 1 to 2 years, it's a naked quest, to display questionable and controversial public relations as a show of a drama and a storm for impressive appraisal for the public. And the reason I said this, for example, you were aware the NPA through its managing director appeared once a few months back and tried to put a spin and pretending as a messiah of being the only managing director in the history of the NPA to have contributed the largest, quote unquote, the largest remittance to the national budget. And thanks to the fact checker who exposed those lies. Again, another instant case is that one of the directors posted and spoke to the media through Clarence Jackson, speaking to records that were disputed, that the port of Harper recorded the largest vessel in the history of the port. That was another lie. The recent controversy about what you read from the MP's page isn't a good public relations, and I'll tell you why. My decade years of service in the port, I always told all of the managing directors that I worked with, PRO is an evidence of what will generate the goodness of what we're doing and the accomplishments. And true to those, yesterday, I wasn't really paying attention to the details of what happened in Liberia. 3 of my former bosses called, and it was a conference call, and they were appreciating the fact that I was already reminding them about good PR. And when I asked what was it about, they spoke to the press release you read, and they mentioned where it was a bad thing for the current management team to attribute the success of that deal to them without giving credit to the previous management team and the past government. What does that mean?
What role did the past government play in this?
So I was on board a flight with a team of executives of the NPA in the month of August of 2013. We had a flight to
2013 or 2023?
That's 2023, that's what I meant. I beg your pardon, 2023. So that was not far away from the elections, okay? And the intent of that trip, like many other trips we made in the interest of the country and the port, was to follow up on arrangements that were made by His Excellency George Weah with the American government to ensure that the ports of Liberia, were developed consistent with the vision of the president, for manpower development, and specifically to ensuring that the marine state of the port, is looked at with critical urgent needs. So when the president made those initial representations, we as the management team needed to do a follow-up. So we did 2 follow-ups on those. And then the last trip, we sealed a deal so that the ports of Morocco and the NPA will align with the development plans of the president to helping some of our staff, capacity build, to train marine personnel, and ensuring that there was infrastructure development.
Did it include the redevelopment of the ports mentioned?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the entire intent of in fact, there were technical working committee that was set up, and there was MOU. I was one of the crafters of the MOU. In fact, I inked the press release and passed it by the Port Authority of Morocco on the media consent, and we published those. The records are there. There are pictures. They say pictures speak 10,000 words and volume. The pictures are available everywhere. That's what I mentioned.
Was there an agreement signed then, or it was just a memorandum of understanding at the time?
An MOU in context is a formal agreement.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't have the weight of enforceability as a proper signed agreement would.
Well, Julius, an MOU is a form of an agreement. The enforceability are done in phases. So when that agreement was inked with the technical working committee, the next stage was for implementation purposes. And by that, we've had the authorities of the 2 poles to sit around the table and work towards the implementation.
So is it the case that has happened now, the implementation stage? Is that what has happened in Morocco?
Well,
Because here they are talking about a formal agreement being signed. So yeah, credit should go to people who started it. But if they are now signing a proper agreement with the port authorities of Morocco, then it is something to look at too.
Sure. So we're having, or what has happened for the last 72 hours thereabout. But our emphasis is that will you get involved to this kind of deals? Credit the originators of that. And besides the point of the lack of credit to the originators of the deal, let's hold off at the constant that government is continuity and administration should be continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still doesn't, preclude the fact that if the predecessor initiated the deal, you should, give reference to those people who were involved. Besides, I think also the content of that press release and the MOU or whatever agreement they've signed is a contrast to the original discussion about the whole deal. For example, the press release as read by you, and I was, that I flipped to, spoke about a master plan for the port. Julius, you want to fast check this information I'm about to provide to you. There has always been a 25-year master plan at the port. That master plan was a blueprint to ensure that infrastructure growth, development, and throughput for all of the ports of Liberia. And that master plan was a guide for the port sector.
When did it come into being?
Well, I joined the MPA in 2014, and I met the 25-year master plan already into force effect.
So it is that same master plan that successive administrations have been following.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, it originated from the Ellis regime, and all managing directors in those years and now have followed that. Let's assume, for the point of argument, I like to be fair in this analysis. Let's assume between 2014 to now is about 25 years. In perfect best administrative practices, you probably want to review the terms and conditions of the master plan and know what there's an operation.
No, but it is not. It is not 20. It's not 25 years out. It is 11 years. And even if you go back to where Ellen started from, it is still not 25.
So I'll put in a spin where people will argue that, okay, maybe they try to rewrite the agreement. But what that meant, what you alluded to, is the fact that there was already an existing 25-year master plan. So the question should be now, how come there's a new master plan for the port? Who's answering those questions? And both of those questions, the previous, just at least 2 more minutes. I will just zero in very quickly.
Quickly, because we have our guests that we have to talk something else and quickly go. Mm-hmm.
Good. So the next question that follows this question is that the previous or the original 25-year master plan is an inclusive in its totality for all of the ports, unlike the one you spoke about a few minutes ago. Talked only about the free port of Monrovia and the port of Ikena. And the reason why the port was established was to manage all ports within the Republic of Liberia. The MPA has 4 ports in its network. Is the management telling us that master plan, no one knows the condition, the duration, and all that? Is it only focusing on the free port of Monrovia and Ikena? What happens to the port of Harper? What happens to the port of Greenville? There is also some accomplishments and achievements we made to start, the construction of the inland port in Ganta. What happens to the, development plans for that port? There's another port somewhere, somewhere called Bumboja. So as administration, if you want to do something inclusive and holistic, you don't do it in piecemeals and phases. So I think that thing was just a grandstanding. Is a regular thing where they want to get public appraisal and all of those. Just one more quick thing I will speak to and let go. There was also a release, one of my former bosses, drew my attention to about the post speaking to growth in vessel call, all right, traffic. And
we can talk about that on another day. There are so many things to always talk about. Just because of time, please, Malcolm.
But thank you, man. I appreciate this, and again, like I said, this is not a harmful criticism, but the fact that I think it's always advisable that the MPA should do proper research and follow up on what they're doing, because when the right time the products of the press releases, there are controversy and misinformation about them. Thank you so kindly for having me.
Okay, thanks so kindly. He was there. We heard from him. Now, let's take this voice quickly just before our guest comes in. Let's take this voice quickly of the information minister and tie it in with a whole lot of things.
There are still some people in our country whose desire is to see everything crumbling. They would rather have chaos and anarchy here than anything that looks stable. These people will find just anything to hang on, just in their desperate attempt to plunge the country into crisis. Liberia has always been in the forefront of defending the interests of Africa. There are misinformation which they are spreading so fast, promoting a concept of anti-Pan-Africanism on the part of our country is a conspiracy that is illogical and very mischievous. But look, the truth is, yeah, we are dealing with a very hostile, desperate, and frustrated opposition that will not play by the norms of democracy, whether now or in the future. These people are interested in blackening the image of our republic at this critical time, but we will not allow them to succeed. Their objective is obvious: tarnish Liberia's image as a defender of African interests, extension try to undermine our quest for a non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council.
Okay. Is this kind of talking strange to you? You've not heard this kind of talking almost every administration, right? They always reference opposition that way. Previous government, go back to Ellen time. In fact, Ellen said they were like proverbial ostriches and having their heads buried in the sand. I did that interview in New York. You all can remember. Yeah. 2013. Proverbial ostriches having their heads buried in the sand. It was opposition. CDC time. They were what? Enemies of the state. That's how the opposition was called. Now they are hostile, desperate, and frustrated oppositions. You know, the way God absolves some of us whenever we speak about things at a particular time, and then, you know, people see it another way, and then they come to power, and it is just what we said can make me happy. To be brave enough to say certain things. Should people wish the country to fail? No. Should people darken and blacken and create a monstrous image of the country abroad? No, I don't think so. And I've always insisted on that. But if you roll back the years, that is what people wanted you to do. So maybe we now have the perfect opportunity to have these conversations now. Maybe now everybody can talk about it now. So it's okay. If opposition always wants negativity about the government in power out there, that is the general modus operandi of the opposition. Always there, it should be negative. And this opposition that came to power, oh, they were very good at it. Extremely talented. They went international. When senators and representatives visited overseas or agents of the opposition, only bad things they were saying. They were lobbying with Congressman Chris Smith became a very good guy. In fact, some of them had lobbying firms. What were they doing? Darkening and blackening the image of Joseph told me something in private, and he came on the show and said it. That when before, like during early time when they were in opposition, yeah, they played their politics. They were not that going international and going America to lobby and blah blah blah. Whenever he went, Ellington was to go lobby for stuff to bring what kinds of stuff. During their time, their government, when he went, some of the people on the terrible things. It's about some of the people come here, the kind of messages, the kind of emails, the kind of phone calls that we get from people about Liberia, about the government. It's terrible. Now, what did I say then? What I said then was governments can do wrong. Governments can do positive things. We should talk about the positives just as we talk about the wrongs. And I argued then that we cannot play our politics internationally to make a government look bad just so that because we won't come to power. We should not wish for a government to fail. Because no matter what you do, you think it's positive. If Liberian people choose to vote someone else, that's exactly what they will do. But you cannot seek for anything that comes from U.S. government to be negative report on the government that is in power. Everything that anybody will say should be terrible report, and all these kinds of things. So the government will not succeed. For the government to fail so it can make it easier for you to come to power. And a whole lot of politicians, that's what they do. That is the reality. They really want the government in power to fail. When the current government was in opposition, that is what they did. That is what they wanted. Was it good? No. Should other people do it to them too that they are in power now? No. So let's start having the conversation now. Now, does that mean opposition should not be critical? No. Opposition have to be critical. They have to point out what the wrongs are. It is their role to do that. They have to do it up Capitol Hill. They have to release statements and all of that. However, they cannot wish for the country to fail. No, they should not. People should not wish. Even though Senator Snow will argue that the context in which he spoke has been misplaced and misargued and misconceived and misunderstood, I still think, listening to what he said, he shouldn't have said that. Because it was very easy to be understood in any way that anybody wanted to understand it. Yes, the frustration in not upholding the rule of law on certain things and the possibility of inviting chaos when rule of law is not in place in a country. I understand that context, but no, we cannot wish for the failure of a country, no matter who is in power, whether you like the person or you don't like them. In fact, if you don't like the person, you should be praying for them to convince you. Or even if they do not convince you, but let them do something good. Then you can hear the person feeling that even they did a good thing for me. You don't like the person that is in power, but make the person to do pray. Let them do something good. Maybe they play good roles and do some good thing, and then you vote against them. Then you hear them power. Yeah, but you can't pray for it to fail because I says yes to your age now. I always tell people this. I says yes to your age. You know why you will be. So if the person doesn't fix this role from area A to area B to area C, it remains bad. Then your government that you want, it comes to power. Then you gotta go start away from A. No, at least that person carry from A to B to C. Yeah, so that when you take them from there, when your government can't do, they'll continue from C to D to E. That's how countries should work. So it's good that they are realizing. It is not that they are realizing it now. They knew it all along, but that's how the politicians play the politics. So it is interesting. If we roll back to some of the things that Jeremy P has said on different platforms, the past few years, you will not believe he's the one talking like this now. Yeah? They wanted all of those things to be happening. They wanted media people to just be talking about the negatives of the government all day. Don't talk positive. Make it bad. Just so the government can move on that so you get there too. But that's not how it should be. So you opposition people, do not get in the realm of wanting this government to fail. No, it is not okay. Yeah, all of us will suffer directly, indirectly. If the people's lives cannot get better under this government, they will be begging you. They will be all behind you people. Of course, that's what some of you like, so that you'll be able to get all of these people behind you for voting processes. But no, let it do well. Push the government to do well. Give alternative recommendations and all those kinds of things. Yeah, that's how it should always be. Okay, we want country. Yeah, so we shouldn't fail. I'm begging you. Stop having the dreams of failure. Let's have the dreams of progress. Critique. Do positive recommendations. agitate up Capitol Hill through your lawmakers to push alternative plans. We got to increase civil servant pay to this, that, that. The opposition is leading on it. We got to build school here and there. The opposition is leading on it. We got to put money here for social roles. The opposition, that's how it should be up Capitol Hill. 777-700-995, Let's take a few calls as our guest walks in. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Julius Jeh calling for the Power Kutam, and good afternoon to the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
But you started fine, good that. Even our current president, when the RR rule, when they pay the RR rule, he created the RR rule. The PAP, the pay the PAP, the procredit, anything that the PAP government do, he got to create that. And for me, as I'm speaking, if I can't commit, then the party government can't have me. I want for them to fail.
No. But when I saw, let's say the government doesn't. How old are you? How old are you?
You forgot my age.
No, I beg you. I'm sorry.
Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. The current president for this paying everything for Nigeria paying one of the work credits everything about the past government. So
criticism is one thing. Sometimes it is necessary. If the government does wrong, people should criticize.
Yes, it is good, but they were taking it to be any party. They were all in the national war. Criticizing the government. Get people part and put it on Facebook say that the government killed the party. When you go on outside the Christian and human party, the government. Then you want to me. I think what he says to pray for the government to succeed, so that judge our force. I beg
you. You know, my man, God said you should forgive, and sometimes forgiveness is difficult.
You shall forget Satan. You shall forget God. Then you're going to be doing bad things to us.
So you arguing? Wait, you want compete with God, huh?
No, when God and I got the heaven, the earth, and the world.
So you say when God forgives Satan, that the only way you will.
I was in the party. I know I'm forgiving the party.
Okay, let's take this one. Target. How do? Target. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius.
Go ahead.
Okay, Julius, what breaks my mind is listening to push on the recording you played for Jeremy Pierre, Minister Jeremy Pierre. And it's sad, but did he realize that this country belongs to all Liberians, irrespective of who in power? Trust me, when the criticism can were criticized. But these were people God was meant to conquer, meant to sanction Liberia. Those were people writing the embassy to issue statements every day against the government for support to not come. It doesn't have a response to even. Look, let me say this.
Yeah, so should it? So my argument is, should it continue?
Before I answer your question, let me deal with the issue first.
Yeah, but if you deal with it, how long you wanted to? How long you wanted to deal with the issue? Let's make progress. No, it is not about praising. For me, I am not naive. No, hold on. Hello, Janje. I am not naive to think that opposition will be praising government. No. That's not what I'm asking. I am saying make the discourse more constructive, do it up Capitol Hill, push for alternative plans, alternative policies. Yes, be critical of the government, highlight the issues that they are not doing well and all of that. But to want government to fail, to take steps for a government to actually fail is problematic.
No, but Julius,
Mm-hmm.
This is a man who is even seeking asylum because he felt like, bro, when I say we're not going to be safe anymore.
How you know? How you know the man was seeking asylum? Man, stop that thing, man.
No, but I'm begging you. I say what I can say, Julius.
No, but that is a major claim. You can't be saying.
There is a man who be like, bro, we're not going to get better anymore. You're not going to come back here. So they were going from place to place for Labro to be destroyed. And you can't say that I get microphone. You think I'm paying?
And so, Janje.
We not pray for evil against our country for some of us who believe in patriotism. I will not pray for evil for my country, but I believe that there is the God messenger to say this to us.
Okay.
Ain't go find place to say that when you eat.
Thanks. No, let's be decorous. Let's be decorous. Few more, just 3 minutes, sir. We'll go to our guests. Welcome quickly.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Julius, thank you for having me on your platform. CRC Emmanuel Super Junior of the Interlarger Cloud District number 14.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say good afternoon to your listening audience. Julius, if anyone is wishing this government bad, I think this government itself is the one wishing itself bad. Why would my other opposition wish change something about this government?
No, I'm not. I'm not also saying that the government, that the opposition is wishing for the government to fail. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just making a generic analysis of what it should be.
Yeah, but then it's looking like that. No opposition is wishing for the government to fail. The government itself is failing day by day. You can see their democratic credential has been crippled. You can see it. I think if this government should go forward democratically, one of the first things this government or this president should do is to dismiss Greg, because Greg has
it is someone's job that should go before the government will be on path.
Well, Julia, government is not a single segment. It is the entirety of the government. We're talking about we are not just talking about sit down on an MOU and take someone else's work without giving them credit.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll hold that. Let's take this one. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, Julius, and good evening to our peace-loving people. I'm Counselor.
It said that I know how to call your. I know that Director General or waiting of the.
No, but leave that. Let me focus on the issues.
No, but I should identify you by your title. This is why you call on my personal line and I allow you because you are unofficial. So don't be acting like you official.
Julius, the government is owned by the people. The government is for the Liberian people.
Mm-hmm.
If companies come in a country, people will get jobs and people will live happily. For someone to pray that no companies come or no investment come in the country must fail. Everybody suffer.
Who said that?
I think we need to think and see how we all work together for our people's life to change. Too long. 170 years, we still talking about rules. We still talking about electricity. We still talking about social utilities in the country. So it is time to focus on how we can attract investment in the country. No investors of one kind when the place is noisy, the place is chaotic and threatening.
Sure.
So let's see how we all work together to move the country forward.
So
ordinary people are suffering.
I know you are.
Suffering.
I must admit that you have been a liberal kind of political person, not extreme, but do you agree that some of the actions that were taken yesteryears were also problematic by opposition? In terms of
Julius, I mean politics. I would not sit on any radio station and attack somebody wrongly or insult anybody. I will not do it. If other people do it, I'm a prerogative. But I think where Liberia is, the development we see here, it not match our age. It is time for us to work together to move the country forward. When the country gets better, it's time for all of us.
Okay.
No matter your opposition or your imposition.
Thanks so kindly, Councillor. We sincerely appreciate that. The final one, and then we'll talk to our guest. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you, Julius, and thanks for giving me the opportunity, at least finally. Well, Julius, and I do agree with you.
Someone like you over, I know in Liberia on here, but you call it on WhatsApp. It's a little tough.
Julius, hello?
Yes, go ahead now.
Thank you. You see, when George Weah was the leading opposition figure in the country, under Madam Salif, he traveled with President Salif to the United States of America. President Salif appointed him as the country, as the peace ambassador. He served in writing people don't help the country. He was helping President Salif at that time, to help the country so Liberia could be better for every one of us. Fast forward, Julius, is different. It was different on Mr. Boakai as opposition leader. Look, I know it's a topic that we'll talk about squarely, but Julius, the first thing I would like to talk about here is, Julius, when the ministerial complex, when President Salif built the ministerial complex, it did not end doing her tenure. When President Iwia was elected, the NIA, what did he do? He named the ministerial complex after President Salif. The Japan Freeway, the first phase started under President Salif administration. The second phase, the contract was signed on that he do during the inaugural stage of the rule. He appreciated President Salif and also said that because of this, and we are here today, even though we have done our part. But the desperate quest to disprove everything that Joshua did as the president of the country is the one that is bringing the Unity Party into public disrepute.
Okay.
Because they don't want to say a single, or they don't want to send a single appreciation to what President we had, and you can't take it away.
Okay, thanks. So let's we'll hold you there. We've been holding our guest. He's been patient because of the sensitivity of the topic. It is my first time seeing him physically. I know I've seen pictures of him. I was discussing something, but just oh, but man, that wasn't this. That wasn't. Representative Romeo, is it queer or quail?
Thomas Romeo Quail.
Quail. Okay.
The A and the O. I'm the O.
Yeah, I know the A part. So, and that's how I spell your name before. Then someone said, no, the man doesn't spell his name like that. It is Quroh.
Yes.
I said, oh, this one is strange. But welcome, sir. How has life been?
Thank you, Julius, for seeing you too. I've been seeing you, and for the most part, you and Clarence sound alike. So
okay.
But I'm okay. Thank God. It's good.
Okay. You just focus on the microphone so people can hear it. How is Sino County? With some very fancy names, the Mississippi's streets, the Greenvales of this world. How is Sino?
Well, Sino is okay. Sino is good. Sino is quiet. Sino is peaceful. Sino is challenged than any other county in this country.
Well, that is what other counties will also say. Grancu can say that as well. Bombing can say it.
It's not peculiar to Sino. It's across the country.
Riverside can say it.
In fact, somebody tomorrow can say that too.
Yeah, and what could be responsible for that? I see that you are of age. Before this, I said things used to be okay. Why is it places like Sino, paved roads, they didn't go there ever since? You have these beautiful names of the cities, but you go there, there is not really anything to write home about. What do you think is responsible?
I think it's us, the people of this country, the people of Sino, people that didn't take, development important as it is today. There were budgeted appropriations across the country. Then, even though it may not be, as it is now, because our times were different from your time, but we appreciate our heart.
Okay. Tell us about some of your impacts so far since you became representative in Sino.
So, I've been involved with a lot of stuff. First, capacity building of the young people, placement of students on scholarships, seeking jobs for the citizens, those at home and those that are here, and getting involved with some community projects. But we thank God we are there.
Can you give me a delineation of your district in Sino, like this places? Yeah.
So it runs from Grisby Farm.
Okay.
To Peratroken, beyond Peratroken, Seyon Town is the last time. Now it's electoral district boundary that runs beyond to Gide in Gidepo.
Okay.
So it runs from Grisby Farm, it goes to Pombo, it goes to Numopo, it goes to Gide, Tatwe, and on beyond Tatwe to Gidepo.
Okay, we've always heard about Tatwe, especially from the Forest Hour Yeah, the reports on Tatwa and all of that. Those places usually have road challenges. Am I right?
Yeah, very correct.
Is there anything being done along that line, especially for rainy season?
Well, usually, you know, and sometimes they communicated, you know, an initiative. Someone they made the paths, cut some sticks and put them on the stuff like that. Or some use, you know, canoe or other means to get to want to go. But the roads are bad. The roads are challenged. Right now, as we speak, you can't even go from Riverside to Sino like that. You got a detour from what we call Sand Beach Junction, 3 hours detour. And come up because the Cecil River Bridge got damaged a few months back. So the Sabi is challenged. Especially so from this side, from the Grand Bassel to Sando side. The route from Grand Gile on to the other side much better because there are some paved roads on that side, like in Maryland and River G, part of Grand Crew, they are paved. And so we're looking forward to seeing that corridor from Grand Bassel to Sando onward to Grand Crew.
Okay. What about the educational system there? How is it?
Well, it's on course, and there are challenges. You know, almost all the schools in Sino have shortage of teachers. In fact, just yesterday, I got a call from the DO in the Greenville District School System. Where I live, where I come from, my village, about 30 minutes drive from Greenville there. He tells me I've since about 2-3 months ago, they are not being effective school because no teachers. The students go in the morning, they have to go back, but no teacher.
Wow.
So I called the CEO last night. He told me you're calling the DO. But I know the challenges, you know, they're not peculiar, they're not intentional. I won't serve a chair on education, and I know the challenges in the educational sector in this country. And so, but otherwise, we're there. We are there, and we're doing our best to give support to the school system. And the Sando Community College, you know, had a reshuffle. We got some, you know, and some staffers with the requisite qualification. And then the students are going back. They are decommissioned the health science because of lack of, you know, they require, you know, standards. Now we're trying to get it back on course. So it's there.
Health system, how does it look like?
The health system is the same. We got, I think, a little about 30 some more health centers across the county. And they've been supported. The government has been trying. But you know, the challenge is so plenty everywhere you want. Even in GFK, the smaller thing you can get is a prescription to go and procure the drugs. Sometimes the drugs nowadays they can be referral. You know, but yeah, there we have our Dr. John and his staff at the F Grade Hospital doing marvelously well. You know, so we are working along what we have.
Okay. Agriculture prevalent? Are they quite visible? Are they helping to feed the people in that place?
Well, the people,
because it is mostly subsistence agriculture in that.
And yes, you are very correct. You are very correct. Even though there is, you know, municipal agriculture programs, you know, that have just been commissioned, where you have these cooperatives, farming being supported by the ministry. And so people are getting involved with that. Well, all in all, have been sustaining farming. In fact, in most places, some of the people, they don't even farm, they just work with GVL and get their ration, monthly ration, and do, you know, 1 or 2 things.
The caucus, are you all together? Are you all united? Sometimes in the past, there used to be issues with the caucus. How is it?
Well, I think the caucus is okay. The caucus is okay. We there. When we came on board, we requested for a new leadership. We said that, you know, what we inherited was 54th, and we are in the 55th. So we got to make sure that, we do elections. Yeah, we did that. So we got new leadership, and the caucus chair is Senator Quino O'Duncan. The co-chair is Samson, Representative Samson Q. We have from District Number 2. The Secretary General is Honorable Ellis S. Noah from District Number 3. And I'm the advisor to the caucus from District Number 1. Councilor Chi is a member.
Okay.
Yeah. So no noise. So we okay.
Okay.
We work together understandably.
We hope it continues like that.
We hope so. We hope so. We know, where do you have an individual with computing interest, there are always some disagreement. But we make sure that those disagreements don't challenge our resolve to make sure that the caucus sustained.
Okay. There have been some public linking you to bribery of local people trying to induce and encourage and to sway, to coax the locals of your district, of your county, to sign some African Finch Corporation logging company forest contract, which is supposed to be between the people of Numopo County district and the company. It is also alleged that you own shares in the company. What do you have to say to this?
So, Julius, you're the journalist in this country. Sorry to say, you're not helping the country.
How?
Because your ratings, your ratings, biased rating, unsubstantiated ratings, undefined rating, on research
you
ratings.
should say some. Because when you say you, that is general, means that everybody doing it, but not everybody.
No, I know. Okay, some.
Some journalists.
Okay, I take that all back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about I'm thinking about some. And because I have this forestry background, I've worked with FDA for a little over 17 years.
Ah, okay.
Yes. I'm the only person in this country that became manager for all divisions in FDA. Before when I went to the States, after my studies, then I got appointed as deputy for commercial forestry at FDA for 2 years during the Julius Jeh period. Before then, I got appointed as the Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of Planning as Chief of Staff, where I stayed a little over 4.5 years, 5 years, then working as Secretary of EPA, and so on and so forth. So I'm familiar with our industry.
Okay.
So for somebody to come in our industry, and generate the kind of unprofessional, and ratings, connive, learning my character. So I took onto it. I have written the daylight and newspaper management. I also written the PU, Press Union Bureau, to get involved. I am, they got three layers in the community forest. They got the Community Forest Management Board called the CFMB. That is the administrative board. Then you got the CA, the Community Assembly. Then you have the executive, body of the forest sector. That's the group that manages forestry activities.
Mm-hmm.
So this company, the forest have been there before. Data team are working in the forest for a little about 8 years, and they didn't do anything in the place, even got our way arrears to the community. So they wrote FDA and acknowledged and accepted, because usually when you're in that sector and then you did not perform, okay, and you still have time on your contract, then they will go through what we call arbitration. But when you are overstayed and you not performed, there can be immediate notification by FDA. So the number one, and went through that. They are saying that they had an extension pending. So that extension has been perfected, certified by all the steps are required by law, and then it ran from 5,000 to 17,000, being approved by FDA. FDA, this company will pre-qualified by FDA. Usually, before you operate in forestry sector in the country, you have to go, FDA apply for pre-qualification. FDA will vet you. That pre-qualification involves I don't go to check, your past record or your standing. Then based on the certificate. This company they're talking about went through that. I am from in the district. I am a forester. I'm an ex-official to the executive committee on forestry, non-voting person. When you are running to be a lawmaker, you tell your people, I'll do that. And one of the things I said I'll make sure that you benefit from your resources. So this company got certified by FDA, and when we saw our company, and the company came. The company when they made all the steps. I don't want to witness it. They got community assembly. Those that are elected in the community from the affected areas. Those are the ones who sign onto the concession.
Did you give them money to do so?
But I got no competitor to do that. In fact, in the first video, the same day I got in the place, FDA sent a staff there, because usually when they do the draft and share the draft with the company and the community, when the day of signing, they got to go over it again. So if anybody have something, contrary to what they thought they know, it will be ratified. 3 hours from in the car straight into the hall. From the hall, I didn't even sleep in the village.
Because I am reading the story here, and they are naming names of people who said who alleged that you gave them money. Some who said they did not go to the meeting because they weren't well, but you went to the house of 5,000 LD and all of that. Was it to bribe them to sign something, or it was a goodwill gesture on your part?
But Julius, I didn't even do that activity. But usually if I go in the village, when I go for visitation, when people come, they throw me off shoulder, right? And we dance, we wine, we dine. But this time, throwing the car straight into the hall. From in the hall, about 3 hours from in the hall, I left that came. That group, individual names I mentioned, and I wrote the minister. I did the intern today. I wrote the minister of internal affairs because I don't want to do and say, the man using power. So I did it, and procedurally, with the minister of internal affairs. These are your persons, that you got in the county that are working with me, and these are what they say. Then I come and verify that. I didn't even see those individuals. I didn't even see them when I went there. They blew apart from in the car I went there. But what is it to induce me about? This concession is the best. Check all the community forests, community use contracts. The best.
But one would say that you're in favor of the company, perhaps you have interest in it. Do you have a share in the company?
In fact, the daylight and reporter alleged that I'm a shareholder in the company. He has facts, right?
Are you not?
No, let me tell you the way. So I told him, if you bring one single evidence to link me, I will resign on the same day. I'll give you my more salary and benefits on the same day.
But because here, in the first story that they wrote, they say Kuya did not respond to the bribery claim and other allegations. In a phone interview, he appeared to accuse the daylight of blackmail while ranting at this reporter. You cannot teach me forestry. You don't know me. I'm one of the longest serving foresters in this country, said Kuya. I know my rights. I know what I did. I'm not a kid. Publish your story in the phone.
So I don't know this guy.
Did they contact you to get your side of the story?
And so in fact, he didn't call me. He texted me. He sent me a text message in my phone. Okay, gave me the barrage of questions to answer to him. I didn't see the questions when I saw him. I called him 2 times. I didn't get it. Next day I called him. He didn't pick it. I texted him. Look, Mr. Vanny Kamara, I'm Romeo Kuya. I'm the one to whom you send a text. Okay, could you call me? Let's talk. He didn't answer. The only time I saw a text, I was in session when he called. Okay, then I just tried to say, no, I can't talk. I'm in session. That's all. I can't talk. I'm in session. Until he insisting that I should talk, but I'm in session. I can't listen and go and start call. In fact, the right thing to do is I ask for an audience. Okay, but not telephonically interview me. Okay, but if you say that you want to talk, then you go probably say, "Why talking to me?" That's what I did. That's what I told him. Then he wrote that stuff right? And then so what I did, I wrote the company because usually shareholdings is enshrined in the article incorporation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a company. They said article incorporation. I publish it. Then you can't buy and tell me say you can't show me tell all day, but the people they got small money in a company in the office that they, but I'm a business. Do I work for the company? Go and ask the company. I thought you were going to say, oh, from the article incorporation you publish, you're a shareholder. Okay, so that's when I'm saying these journalists in this country, they're not helping the country. Because we going out, finding people, talking to people who come and help the country. Then you demify the panel without being sure what you're talking about.
On April 20, they wrote a follow-up story. Representative Thomas Omeokwe of Sando County's Electoral District 1 has admitted his connection to a shady logging company while denying it. Kwe was reacting to a recent daylight investigation, citing allegations by locals that he co-owned African Finch Logging Limited, a UAE-based firm that has a logging MOU with the Numopo Community Forest in Sino-Spayan district. Locals, including county officials, accused Kwe of bribing and intimidating chiefs and elders into signing the document the same day he introduced it. As a duly elected lawmaker, a member of the advisory board of directors of the African Finch, my involvement in forestry-related matters is strictly in the confines of legislative oversight, Kwe said in a Facebook post last Thursday. My position on the advisory board of the Forest Management Committee of the district and a non-voting member of the advisory board of the African Finch, Kwe added. He followed up that post with a press conference on Friday. Did you make this post? And if you say part of the advisory board of the African, a non-voting member of the advisory board of the African Finch, are you?
So by law, I'm a lawmaker. The company is my jurisdiction. So by that, I'm an advisor to the process, not a voting person. Okay, not a voting person.
On the board?
The guy see, EC, EC, executive committee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that committee, if I that committee, FDA is on it. You got a laundry list of individuals on that committee. Okay, and there are two persons.
So let us get it straight. Companies have boards, and then I know the community foresting has a certain line of leadership and all of that. So the question is, for the company African Finch Logging, whatever it is, are you a member of its board, the company's board?
No, I've not even seen the papa owner of the company. They sent during the signing of the CUC, they sent a representative. I don't know where they are, or I know the EAU. EUA and somewhere they got a branch in Ghana. So I'm not member of both of them. I don't know them. If I were a member of the board, it would have been indicated in the article incorporation that was published. So maybe I don't really comprehension problem, probably.
But did you state that you are a member of an advisory board of the company? Did you write that on Facebook?
Well, I'm a ruling to that executive committee, the EC, executive committee of the forestry board. Now, I don't know what EA board is.
Is it a board for the forest community or
the community, not the company?
Okay. Now, so where do you go from this? Are there issues in the district? The people seems to be saying that a whole lot of people are not happy with you.
Nobody in the district, and those individuals that were mentioned, that were quoted by this interview, were individuals, who supported a particular candidate during elections. Okay, their candidate failed, and so they still nursing the truth of the election results. They were saying that, and trust me, they will say it for how long are they there. They will say. And that's why you're brought to a level that will be thoroughly looked at. I level Internal Affairs Ministry, I level the President of the Bureau, and daylight to see whether there's anything in neighborhood that I did that will link me to I don't own anything in the company.
Okay, good. Now, let's come to Capitol Hill. We read the other day that you cross over to the majority. But then people started to send me stuff that you crossed over ever since, and not recently.
Well, I don't know your definition of the other day. I don't know your definition of other day. Other day means 2-3 months. Is that other day? Is that your definition of other day?
No, there was a publication that I think last week there was a publication that came out that you cross over to the majority. And then people said no. Sometime months ago he crossed over, so he can't cross over again.
Some of the journalists don't read. Some of the they can't read.
No, it was not journalists that sent me. You rather seem to have issues with journalists. They people call you to give your side of the story, and you reportedly said that you were in session and then you didn't give your side, but the post say you talk to them harshly.
Yeah, well,
and then you got issue with the journalists. So leave the journalists. The people who are doing their work, the same way you're doing your own.
So Julius, Julius.
Yeah.
I'm not a journalist. You mean I'm a writer? I'm not a journalist, right?
Mm.
But something they call balance reporting.
Yes.
Meaning I hear Julius Jeh side, Julius Jeh hears from your side.
Certainly.
But when you insinuate, it may look at conclusive. The journalism professor is questionable. I didn't join the group.
No, but they gave you the opportunity.
Which opportunity?
I mean, they like people. They gave you the opportunity to provide a sign.
Okay, so they just okay, good. So let's see at the end of the day to see whether they have their iota of truth in what they wrote or what they said.
Okay, good.
So let's move forward. Let's come to the question.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I left and the majority black about 3 months back. And when I was leaving, I published that I was leaving. That I was parting ways.
What is the name you're using on Facebook so I can see some of these things?
Thomas Romeo Queer.
Okay.
If I Google search me, you see me.
Yeah, I know.
You see all about me.
Okay. This is the page that you use, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So then I left. I've been with the minority black from the time I got elected. And I was a minority black until in August, because I went to the States in July, okay, to serve as a guest speaker to my regional group in the Americas. And when I came back, the project started. We stayed up to that point until just recently, not too recently, I think 3 months ago, when the Supreme Court ruling that called ultra-viral ruling, and the Attorney General of the Republic came, okay, and brought his opinion, okay, and that opinion empowered the majority to perfect their actions more effectively legally at that time, right? So then I called it a day meaning, since indeed that the Attorney General has interpreted the Supreme Court's ruling, to me, I did it the right place to be, I'm gonna go there. Because I came here to work for the people of Sino, to work for the people of the country. And seeing there was action, they were activated there, then I went there. The one that happened recently, it was not crossing over then, it was reaffirming, okay, to where I'm at, that I'm still there. Because at the time when we were moving, asking for people numbers, I didn't go. No, not a single person in the legislature that called me and said, come and join us. Nope. Because they know where I stand, they know the person I am. So nobody was afraid to come in for inducement or appropriation of slush. But after the Attorney General ruled, and then they were activated, then I tried to go and go to Sino. That's why I went there. So the one I did, not crossing over, I did that 3 months ago. So I reaffirming that I was there, and I'm still there.
Oh, so you reaffirm your being on the side of the majority?
Yes.
So what is the relationship like with Speaker Kofa, who has been deemed still the speaker by the Supreme Court until otherwise ordered?
Relationship with him, my relationship with him?
Yeah.
They call it a coup. A coup.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court rule now that he is the speaker. Why all of you can come under him to legitimately remove him? Why you don't want to do the right thing?
Well, listen, to where I am, they where I am. Okay? Until it's determined, right? That we should move the other side, they will move there. I should not be part of the people that will generate numbers. I don't think I will talk about right now. Because I'm working. I said I shouldn't say the work for the people of San where I be and where I am, right? I'm not. Trust me.
But you are supposed to uphold the rule of law. So if the Supreme Court rules, people would think that you should.
Yeah. So when the Supreme Court rule is not applicable to me exclusively, it's a group. So when we move in, I expect that the rulings of the Supreme Court, they will move. Today, I think by the bit of information or clarity what that has been filed, it tells us go to start quarantine. So nothing moving. So we are where we are.
Before the motion for re-argument, it was ruled that he's the speaker, and whatsoever the majority bloc did was unconstitutional.
No, that's not my platform. And trust me, and get me right, I respect the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is a bit of law in this country. So I don't have that ability or that zest to question Supreme Court ruling, right? But I'm with a group, and the group, they say where their quorum is, they're going to work. So if quorum is established anywhere we're moving there, then we'll move there. But until then, I recognize where I am, and where I am.
But it is your moving in conformity with the law that will make quorum to be on the other side, because the Supreme Court said this side you on here, it is unconstitutional. So why you all can move on the other side and do the right thing to remove the man?
And so get it right now. And my fight is not to remove Kofa. Okay, my fight is to work for the people of Sino, and where there's work, there where I am. And I'm not induced. Nobody coerced me. Nobody induced me. Nobody even asked me. I, in my own judgment, in my own considered judgment, that indeed, the die is cast. And so I'll move on. That's what I did.
When you say the die is cast, what does that mean?
It means that the Supreme Court, ruling then was being interpreted in the simplest form, because I'm not a legal practitioner, okay, by the Attorney General, that yes, where the action is, they were going to do business. They were going to do business.
This is the OK conversation. We're anticipating the arrival of Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, Mr. John Stewart, shortly. But there are talks about different negotiations going on for the possible resignation of the Speaker. Are you on the side of those who think that after that there should be new election?
And so get this right. I'm not an insider. Okay? I'm not an insider.
But you are supposed to be an insider. You are a lawmaker.
No, being an inside person and being an insider, there are two things. I'm a member of the majority bloc now, right?
Yeah.
But there will be some discussions until I'm brought, on board.
So you are you saying you are a flow member of the majority bloc? Are you on the periphery? You don't form part of the epicenter of decision making.
And so
not a part of the nucleus.
And so I'm now this fair person. I'm there. I'm on committee. I'm on 5 different committees.
Yeah, but you say you're not inside.
So insider means, right? There will be some discussions that will need particular group of people to be there. Okay, and I've not been part of discussions that will say whether it will be election or not. I'm sitting there. If you say election, we will election. It will say by endorsement for it.
No. I am asking you a particular issue. If Fonati resigns as speaker, you are an individual lawmaker. Some of the lawmakers are arguing that once Richard Kun, we went for Richard Kun is the speaker. Others are saying once the court says Fonati was not legally removed and all of that, and if he resigns, then it calls for a new election. So the question is, where do you stand on the issue of new election?
So I just told you emphatically, I just did tell you that Julius, I respect the Supreme Court, right? And so the Supreme Court mandates that there should be re-election, and for re-election.
Okay. 777-995-555-995-995. Representative Thomas Romeo Queer of Sando County District Number 1 is in studio for the first time with me. Quite an interesting conversation. Few of your calls. Our next guests are here as well. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello. Okay, you don't seem to be ready. Hello, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening to those. This is Christopher Petey and I do join you from the balance link here.
Go ahead.
Let me say how far to your studio guests on a Wokia. I think if we carry on the definition of reality, on Wokia comes far from it. Because how can you say you respect the highest authority within the land, but you are yet to give your actual sense of where you are? I listened to him carefully. He said, you are not attached to a certain group. But later on of his conversation, he stated that he is part of the majority bloc. How can that be? But the issue of saying, if Labrador was a still another country banner, Nokia supposed to be impeached because he cannot take side with a company within your area. That is conflict of interest. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, thanks so kindly. He's here. He will respond to them shortly. Who's here? Let's hear you.
Julius, good afternoon, my very good friend. My name is James Lynch Momo, and I call from Painesville.
Okay, go ahead.
Julius, your guest is one of those people who sits on the radio.
Hello? Hello?
Julius?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying your guest is one of those people who sits on the radio and turns your intelligence and you're so constrained to call. There's double standard in what he's saying.
Which one?
One minute he's an insider, he's part of the majority black. 1 minute he respects the court, but he's not going to abide by what the court has said that Speaker Kufa is the legitimate speaker. He has to be clear. They assume roles or title as honorable people. When they come to radio to engage with the public, they should not assume that everyone in the public, is unintelligent and they will just come and play with words. And that is exactly what he's doing. He's not being honorable.
Okay. He's here. He will respond. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Julia, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, Julia, thanks to your senior there on the radio. But Julia, my name is Jeh. I'm calling from Sino.
Jeh,
the fact of the matter is that
Jeh who?
Yeah, Jeh Do.
How you get two last name Jeh Do? But go ahead.
No, the Jeh name is my native name.
Oh, okay.
The Do name is my last name.
Okay, go ahead.
Julia, we expect on the Rokuya then when they go in studio for them to speak to the issue by affecting Sano County. Why on the Rokuya is dancing around in studio there? How people talking from Sano, maybe that is saying campaign mode, they say, what the issue you putting on the floor? We are expecting for you to discuss the issue. We are expecting for you to be talking about campaign issue yet. So let you focus on the job they elected you for 6 years.
But
thank you for the show.
And what am I talking?
You talking to Julia? We know the game they play in there. We the citizens know. We know the boss game they play.
What is the game?
The game they play in the 27,000 Romeo received carry to Sano for you to discuss it.
What 27,000? Who gave him 27,000?
Hey Julia, I'm telling you, we've been following the social media. You know allegation.
But I want an allegation. You gotta prove it. What is the proof? The same way someone did it again. They said they were going to send proof. What is your evidence? What is your evidence? Hello. You going? Yeah, you can't just be making claims. You need evidence. Welcome. Let's hear you. Second to last.
How are you, Chief? How are everything?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
This is Abenigo Newton, a phone from Sophie Converton. I think you asked your studio guest about whether he was laying in some kind of agreement or forestry issues in your district, right? But many times, these lawmakers, they hardly answer because those issues, some of the allegations when coming from citizens can be proven. For example, I come from Prigo, Maryland County. There was a land dispute between GBO and CRC Cavara Rock Corporation. And we're told it is former representative of that district, Dr. Chimo, who are using money to incite the citizens against the company. And at the end of the day, GBO and CRC went to court and GBO won that case. And at the end of the day, the information that because Chimo was using money, they were proving. Because at the end of the day, when GBO won that case, it is Buffer Chimo who purchased that land. So for you asking your still guy about whether it is true that he have access to the agreements for that company or he has shared within it, you deny it. But sometimes some of the information that have been flagged out by the citizens can be proven. So this is what I want to share with your show. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly. The final one now. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello?
Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
I just for Julius Jeh, and let me say good evening to the Honorable President. And this is the voice of April. There is Santo, and I do join you from Mosolaro County this afternoon. And President, let me honestly express my disappointment in the representative. If you listen to the representative, you have a clear understanding of his contradictory statement made on air. Evidence to that, when you question as it relates to the saga or the impact at the House of Legislature, you will find some contradiction. First, this representative left the minority bloc long time, and he just speaking of real information when he said that he obeyed and abide by the rule of law. But then when the Supreme Court came up with that ruling, we believe he should have stick to the ruling or the rule of law that he believes in. But then he was among those many lawmakers who disagree with the Supreme Court law. In conclusion, my disappointment comes from wherein these individuals or our leaders undertake to ensure that becoming lawmaker. Today, the people of that district were women voted in, but then those people have been betrayed. But let me say this and let it go as a clear message to him. Mr. Quia, trust me, this is the last time and you will never and never occupy this position ever in your life. Thank you very much for following me the time to make my position clear.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We come back to you, sir.
So I will do it technically. I will start from this young man who just spoke.
Yeah, we can just do it quickly.
Okay. Now you say he's 12, but trust me, 2029 I'll be lawmaker. I'll be re-elected.
No, let me that one. Let me 2029.
No, I think
the time will come.
That's what I'm telling you to, so you understand that.
Okay.
That when the time comes and he's around, I'll be re-elected. Okay. Who says my side is not clear? I made it clear. I told you that in March I left the majority black. And I want the minority black. I was in the minority black. That was by the Supreme Court, by the interpretation by the Attorney General. I'm in the black. What I did recently is to reaffirm that I'm there. Okay? So I'm not jittering, I'm there. And I'm there, and where I am, and Richard Kuhn is a speaker there. When there's situation where elections are ahead, then I'll choose where I want to be. Okay? But I'm the way I am, and I'm coming to where I am. Supreme Court passed, gave the ruling. Are there many activities? Has anybody moved anywhere? No. So I'm not the one in the discussions that involve, and whether people will have election or people will be given something. I'm not. I go to work because I'm on leadership. I go to work. I'm working until Monday. Tuesday we'll go back to session where there will be election. Then I'll vote, and I know where to vote. So that's the piece about it. The one that has to do with my side with the forestry, I just said it. I made it clear. I told you I don't have any share in any company. I don't intend to have share in any company. There's no platform that will make me become your shareholder in company. But I know that there's a company in my community, in the people in the community. I certified with the company. They were jubilant about the discussions that consummated into signing the MOU. They signed it, nobody tests anybody. The one who says that I'm not clear. I don't know why you're not clear. Well, maybe because I'm not saying what you want to hear, but I'm saying that I'm here and I'm working for the people of Sano. You see it. You say I got 27,000 from whom? Who gave 27 for what? Why they gave 27,000 for that? You say somebody say you got 27,000 and you saying it as if you were there. So we gotta stop these things.
Okay.
Time to stop what we're doing there.
Thanks so kindly, sir, for accepting our invite. We look forward to more discussions in the near future, especially when you people resume. We need to talk the legislative issues of Capitol Hill, audit of the legislature, and all those kinds of things. Okay, thanks so kindly.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you for hosting me.
Okay, his name is Thomas Romeo Quia, District 1, Sino County Representative. Let's take a very quick break. Next up, we go historical. Our guests are here.
Che, the way they falling like this, I'm not getting on air to go transfer money to my son.
My friend, you know here for the new app here in town?
But what kind of apps again?
Canon Cash. It makes sending money easier like beans and bread.
You really mean that? Ma, tell me more about this app here.
You can send money from Liberia to Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, even Guinea. You can also receive money too.
Tell me something. Tell you me I can't get on the ring here?
No standing in line business. Anywhere you see Canon Cash sticker or logo in money changer area, shops and bank, go there and transfer your money to your phone. So you can be able to send money anywhere, anytime at your convenience. They are located on 14th Street, Single, Rossier Avenue.
Ma, thank you for the so money, Jesus.
It's an app you can download on your phone and you can just send money to your family and loved ones. Go to Play Store and download Canon Cash. Just tap KANACASH SH, Ghana Cash. With Ghana Cash, you can send and receive money from 170 countries, including USA, Canada, and India.
There's a place I long to be, where the air is wild and free.
Hey team, have you heard the good news from GT Bank?
Well, Bernice, you always have some good news. What is it again today?
So, you know you can now top up your GT Bank prepaid card using MTN mobile money wherever you are. Just swap and spend.
Wow, is that easy?
Yes, dear. No stress. Now you can enjoy smooth and reliable card transactions 24/7. With GT Bank prepaid card, you can also pay bills, shop online, withdraw cash from the ATM, and many more.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of good news I need to hear. Let me go and open an account so I can experience this unique service.
Oh no, team. You don't need to open an account with GT Bank before getting the prepaid card. This card is for GT Bank customers and non-customers like you.
Oh wow, this is getting interesting. So what should I do then?
Just go to any GT Bank branch and request a prepaid card, and just like that, you are ready to top up your prepaid card using your mobile money wallet and start spending. Top up your prepaid card using these simple steps directly from your MTN mobile money. Just dial *156*7#, select GT Bank, select top up prepaid card, enter your prepaid card number, select currency USD, import transfer amount, and enter your MTN mobile money PIN code.
Thanks, Bernice. These are the kinds of services we need in this country.
I know, right? With GT Bank, dear, you can be sure of getting all the goodies when it comes to banking. It's GT Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
I believe that
Welcome. This is the OK Conversation. We have with us Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. We have John Stewart, and then we have someone else. But we will come to him. But Councillor Gonglo, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Stewart, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Julius.
And we have a man called Flomo Kokulo. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, come closer to the microphone.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm from Zaza.
How is life? Where are you from? What are you doing in Monrovia?
But we thank God He's taking care.
Okay.
We're here for, actually, we lost our younger brother, the one next to me, Bama.
Okay.
Then my daughter, my first daughter. So, but God is in control. We thank God.
Okay. Our condolences.
Thank you very much.
How long are you here for?
As long as you can be hospitable to me, I will stay for a while.
I was in Zaza for a couple of occasions. I wish I had known you then. I like the way the city wakes up in the morning, and that's really cool. Okay, let's come to Councillor Gonglo. That you have him here means that he played some significant role, right?
Very important role from the set. In fact, he got into the progressive movement before some of us.
Oh.
He and Stewart are contemporaries. I hear they come from way back from 1962 as friends.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking about 62, they were. And so, yeah. So, and they are the people who gave some of us who are a little bit younger than them inspiration to keep going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let us come to him before we come back to both of you. What do you do in Zaza these days?
Well,
Just come a little closer to the
to
microphone.
live righteously, I chose to go in the interior because my resources are very meager, even though I served this country tremendously. Teacher, principal for almost 36 years. But our society has now come to the point where there were honest people or people who fight for righteousness. And I pursue righteousness in my life. So to live in the interior is to be able to eat my own plum.
Oh, so you bring your own plum?
No, I just. But that's precisely why I'm up country. I find out I don't have to steal. I don't have to rob government. I don't have to use my status to get anywhere. So the best thing to do is go back home. So I wish the brothers and sisters in America can come back home too. So we live by what we preach. Thank you.
So are you teaching there in Zozo?
Quite recently, I've been teaching chess.
Chess?
Yeah, for small children to learn how to think. Because that's a vacuum in our society. The kids cannot think constructively, anything. So it's been a pleasure to teach chess. But I'm not doing that any longer because I'm aging. I find it difficult to ride up and down the motorcycle. The dust in my eyes. I can't read again. I can't browse. So I quit.
You are such an very.
Thank you.
I need to bring you here on your own edition. Let me explore you deeper. You are someone that the country too needs to listen to. There's a whole lot to unpack from just the things you just said.
Thank you very much.
What reinforced these kinds of beliefs in you for realizing that, okay, I've been teaching all these years, I have meager resources, being in the city is going to be more difficult. I can go in the interior, I can make farm, I can interact with nature and all those kinds of things and live more peacefully and more honestly and all of that. What reinforced it in you?
Well, once I live consistently in pursuit of justice, which is what justice is. Pursuit of justice, that's what Christ is about. Christ is the light. So I've chosen to pursue the path of Christ and as truth. So the best way to do that in a society like this, where people who have not accumulated, wrongly, is to live home. Is to live where your hand can reach to your own cassava, your own pepper. And I got nothing. We're not looking for what. We don't have 1 cent. But we live up and we're happy. We're content.
This is like a sermon. You are sermonizing all of us. I see John there. John, tell us about your young days. He is aging, but he has the vigor. He has the vigor of a youth. I am surprised.
Well, I'm retired, but I'm not tired. Let me just put it that way. I'm 71 years old. I became involved in progressive work from my teenage years. I believe in the equality of man, and I believe that in pursuit of justice, equal opportunities for all, I think is the path that I've chosen in life, siding with not the top of society, but just the honor class. Listen to the concerns, sharing the concerns, and working with them to change conditions for the better of all of us. And that's why it's been driving me. I hate injustice. And I think, just like my brother here said, when Nicodemus went to Christ, Nicodemus was a healer, a physician, high up in Jewish society. And Christ had been preaching tolerance, forgiveness, and peaceful coexistence and all of that. And so Nicodemus was confused by the teachings of Christ as opposed to the Jewish doctrine. So he went to Christ by night and asked him, he said, Christ, Master, what is the greatest law? And Christ responded to him, saying, the greatest law is to love your God with your heart, your mind, and your soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. That's the greatest law. If you live by these laws, you can rest assured the path of heaven will be open to you. And Christ didn't found a church, but he preached, he lived what he preached and believed. And if you live by this, going to churches, fellowshipping, it's good to fellowship and all of that. But many people go fellowship, but
They do not live by the commandment that Christ gave us. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. And they ignore the sufferings of other people. They trample on other people. Many who you see here wealthy today have trampled on the corpses of people to attain the kind of wealth they hold today. So until we have a country in which opportunities are fairly equal and open to all, until we can have a society in which we have high level of tolerance, discipline, and of course, a drive to the future along the proper paradigm. Meaning that we should strive to reduce, if not eliminate, the gap between the have and the have-nots. We have a situation of rising inequality. You have a situation where less than 5% or maybe even 3% of the population is accounting for more than 80% of the GDP. This is unjust, is unfair by whatever standards. And we have to work to accomplish this. That also means we must strive to be independent as a nation and not be dependent, always looking for handouts. People run complaining and grumbling, yes, President Trump has cut the lifeline and will not lay out and die because President Trump withdrew his resources from Liberia. We have enough resources. We should start looking inwards to use what we have and develop it so that our future can be better. People come here, why do you think all these big corporations are here if we are so poor? They come here to look for money. If we didn't have money, they won't be here. If we didn't have wealth, they won't be here. So why can we not use this wealth for ourselves? And for posterity.
Very instructive, and puts us exactly why we called you people here. That's looking at the future, looking at now and the future. What do we need to do? And you set the basis. Well, you mentioned Trump. As I go to Councillor Gonglo, a couple of days ago, the U.S. Embassy shared this on its page. In Africa, America needs a policy of trade, not aid. And over the past 100 days, the State Department has replaced handouts with firm diplomatic engagement aimed at ending conflicts and expanding opportunities for American companies. And this was what the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said.
So let me say this, just 1 minute on what my colleagues did. They really stimulated me. Since they talk about Bible and God and all that, let me say mine. One of the reasons that stimulated me to fight for people and not self is reading the Bible. I went to Catholic school in 1969 at Father Tipo. I saw this man wearing sandals, wearing a bush there.
Monsignor Tipo?
Yes.
Okay.
So educated. He used to tell us on a mission, when you say, Father is sleeping, you bogus, I'm reading. You are out there playing. Engage your mind. So, he always used to talk about Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. And now his disciples washing his feet. That is a sign of leadership. That, as a young man going to catechism class, that really, and then think about love your neighbor as you love yourself. So when I went to St. Mary's, it continued. I saw Father Tipo and Father Francis, who didn't become bishop, he was then a Catholic priest, and teaching those same values and living very humble life. I went and told my father I want to be a priest. One, because they are so educated and they are also humble. My mother said no. She was a Baptist. I'm a Baptist. My first son, you got to marry and born children. And but I had only 2 children. I have so many other children, but 2 natural children. The thing is, and so when I was honored in the Catholic Church in 2002 in absentia because I had been tortured, I was in the States. I said 2 songs I want to be played on the day I'm honored. Whatsoever you do to the least of your brother is a song in the Catholic. And then, whatsoever you do to the least of your brother, that you do unto me. And then the prayer of St. Francis make me make me a peacemaker or something like that. It's more about
agent of peace.
Yeah, an agent of peace. So, I think working for humanity brings some relief to you. I don't. It is the selflessness in me that makes me. I'm prepared to die for what is good for humanity. And I can't change now at going to 69. All of us, we can't change now. And one of the reasons we can't change, I was just sharing with Flumo before we came here. Look at our friends in the 70s. How many of them died on April 14? How many of them died during the war? They were identified during the war and killed because of what they stood for. For us changing now will be betraying them. We are lucky to be alive. And the cost is just, because Liberia was founded as a relief from people suffering from oppression. That premise is still betrayed today. A friend of mine called Bill Berkeley, a journalist in New York, came here, part of the research. I said, don't put my name there during those time. I wrote the book, Premise Betrayed. That premise betrayed still continues. Every generation, the premise is betrayed. That is why Francis Mariah from Kipama, your home, stood up against the. Why are you selling Grebo people and Kru people to Fanata Poor? They are human beings too, like you, and testify before the League of Nations. That is why Dito and others stood up, well educated, and said, no, we don't want to be part of this system that discriminates against the majority of the people. Even Tree Party was established because of exclusion. So, white people, we all came from America, and only the white-skinned people who can lead this country, they and they recapture slaves from the Congo. We say we got a greater number.
That's an interesting point, and this was about drawing on the lessons of the past, and that's one that.
But I want to talk about the State Department release.
Yeah, sure. You are also going to tie it in, but I just want to make the point about people seemingly fleeing a particular thing or being against a particular system, but then replicating the very system when they have power.
All the time. I don't even want to go now because I'm really brutal about now. All of the medtechs and the different things that were criticized by the opposition, including United Party, are still in place and cemented. I don't know what happens. So on this issue of America's, trade, I agree with them. That is one of the reasons that led us to independence. Because in 1846, they told Joseph Jeh Rebels, who was the last governor, we're tired of giving you a handout. You all went to that place in the west coast on the west coast of Africa in 1821, December 1822, more settlement. That place is green. Malagola pepper coming from there, palm oil coming from there. A lot of why are you not feeding yourselves? ACS is no more sending you relief. Okay, that's what I'm saying in my speech.
And more than 200 years, or close to more than 200 years, we are still being told the same thing.
Yes. Say, we're not giving you. You better grow things on your own. You'll not get anything from us again. Why are you not growing food? They said it. That's one of the reasons that allowed us to independence, to be able to do things besides the fact that the French and British were encroaching on our territory. All right? So, again, it's a promise betrayed. Because in the Declaration of Independence, we said there that we will prove to the rest of humanity that we too are capable of governing our same mental faculty that will lead to invention and civilized governance. That governance is not only for the white race, that we too, and will be a shining example for the rest of humanity, that black people can govern themselves. We said it. It's a promise betrayed.
Let me come to Mr. Flomo on the question about learning from the errors, mistakes, the negatives of the past and making it better now. But we come, for example, we say, oh, country people. Then the quote unquote country people came, and people said they may even be doing things that are worse than those that they felt were the oppressors. How do we go beyond that? How do we make it better? Whether we want to learn from the 70s, the 80s, the 60s, whatever it is, how do we in this age go beyond that?
It's to make the ultimate decision. That decision
You just come a little closer.
is to remain upright. That decision, never to allow yourself to be bent. As I was telling you, money hasn't been our problem. This man is out of job, he writes, print. This man is a lawyer, he teaching freely. Similarly, I've been teaching, but we would not change our attitude towards the protection of human rights, the struggle for truth. So it's a mindset. It's a mindset. What have you chosen to do? How do you intend to help Liberia if you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you're a politician? The point here is to be upright, because sometimes we argue that, look, the only problem we have is corruption. If we can fight corruption, everything else flow. In Liberia, it's corruption. Come, grab, and go. We got to stop that. Once we stop that, giving our own volition as individuals, how do I help? Then we've won.
How do we put that in people who have different experiences, people who have different appetites, people who have different longings?
For example, people who want luxury.
Yes.
People who want life easy. But when you're building, life is not easy. I don't see it so. I came from Zaza. I saw Wella Market from 1st grade to 9th grade. I watched the toilet in St. Patrick's High School from 10th to 12th grade. I sold narcotics to go to Cottington. The thing we're fighting. I didn't take it to destroy me. Life is not easy. But as I said, what option you have to develop yourself, your country, your fellow men. How do you do that? I've been teaching for almost 40 years. Been a history teacher at Cottington, at LU, here and there. But I make less than $250 per month as my pension. You think it's fair for me? I take it. Because that's the society we in. I'm not going to force it. Nobody from my group I believe in taking arm to solve the problem. It's people who made out the story that we from Moja wanted to fight, wanted to do so. That's the enemy. That's the story. But each of us, our fourth step, proves that. And that's not our bag. Our bag here is to continue to sing the song that we can make it. Let's be honest. And we'll continue until we die.
Is this the Liberia you fought for as a young man? Is this what you wanted it to be?
Far from it. Some of us are disappointed by people who might here like to call comrades, or people who might still call us comrades. We got no qualm. Again, it's an inner factor. You see, you're not going to force somebody to continue to pursue justice. No. And we got no qualm with anybody, but we speak our mind and speak truth, even to power. When people consistently and persistently hear this view, the time will come when people will change positively. Believe you me, it will happen.
Mr. Stewart, the late President Doe killed people, and the leading mantra was corruption because of corruption, and corruption always fought. You also spoke about corruption. Well, today, almost every day, we have to mention it in some kind of thing. How do we address this menace, given the historical context as well?
Well, I can tell you, to be able to address the problem, first of all, we have to, let me put it this way. Liberia's pattern of governance over the years has been based on a very strong presidency, almost imperial-like, and dictating how things should go. President King said, the fish begins to rot from the head, which is true. When I was growing up in the market, you want to know the fish fresh, you got to lift up something to see the gills. If the gills look dark, you know the fish is rotten. What that means is that good examples, when set from the top, can flow down. All right? In traditional societies, I'm not talking about today now where the position of the chieftaincy of a chief is so it's not what it used to be. Chiefs commanded the authority and of the people, all right? The respect of the people. And the people respected them because of the sacrifices they, as chiefs, were prepared to make. Back in history, in times of trouble and great threat to the community, where it required sacrifice to ward off the threat, the chief would be the first to step up, to lay his life on the line, to protect the community, all of that. The examples of that were in traditional oral history, where chiefs have paid the ultimate sacrifice by submitting themselves, in some cases to be buried alive, to save the community from some pestilence or from some threat. So leadership is very important. So the leadership we have will, to a large extent, influence our behavior. When before Talbot ascended to the presidency, we had President Tubman. I grew up under President Tubman. There was the culture of the top hat and tailcoat. Women going to school at university were every Friday required to wear an African dress. J. Rudolph Grimes, the wife of J. Rudolph Grimes, Doris Grimes, wrote in her memoirs that the wives of other cabinet ministers used to frown on her because she was the only wife of a cabinet minister that wore traditional dress, lapa suits all the time. They used to frown on her. The beer, when I was growing up, there was a beer they called Tuborg, what they used to call it Mac the Shield, because it was big, and we had an eminent personality named Mac the Shield who was big. So everybody used to refer to, go get me one bottle of Mac the Shield. But club beer was introduced, and when the top people started drinking it, everybody. When Talbot became president, he started wearing, he stopped the tailcoat and top hat and started wearing safari suits. Everybody started wearing safari suits. When you look the elite now, instead of going for Henneken and Mike the Shield, they start going for a club. Same thing at the university. It was more prestigious to go to Connington because Connington's education was superior. But when the government, especially under President Talbot, began channeling more support to LU. We saw the children of the elite, all of them flocking to LU. Why? Because of the standards. LU could very well compete. Hard. You see, so leadership is important. But how to get out of this is to sensitize our people. Our people are not stupid. The realities condition their thinking. There are several levels of consciousness in a society, any society. One level is you have people who believe that anything that happens is that God. You can't change anything.
Mm-hmm. That's a religious consciousness.
There's another level of consciousness where people believe that whatever the leader says is right, even if an object is black, they will say, once the leader says white, it's white. There's another level of consciousness where people reflect on why is this thing happening to me? That's another level. And everybody is not at the same level of consciousness. So our leaders, when they set examples, you should set examples that will filter down through so that it gets carry it across. And if you run too fast, you will leave the people behind. The people will condemn you. And you say, oh, I'm speaking for the people, yet the people condemning me. It's because the people are not at the level of consciousness that you are. You have to be on the level to go with them gradually. This was a situation we experienced during the 1970s, the 1980s, and what have you. We, as an organization, Moja, adopted a policy of sensitization and gradual and political education for the people so that when the change did come, they will be able to respond. There were others who felt and were using at the time, the political atmosphere was repressive, but were using at the time the examples of oppression in South Africa and juxtaposing that to what workers at Firestone were facing when you had Firestone in South Africa doing the same practices and all what have you. There were others who felt that we were too slow. They needed a faster pace of change. And you could only do this by pushing for confrontation. You know, for pushing for confrontation. And we saw this happen. And, of course, when the coup came, by the time the coup came, Liberia was ripe for change. Very, very ripe. And there were those who felt that had there not been military intervention, those of progressive thinking would have won the day, it would have had a progressive president. And this was at the height of the Cold War. You had entrenched interests here in Africa, VOA, the tracking station at Omega, all of that. So you have to carry the people around gradually.
Now,
they say rampant corruption was a problem. Toba was overthrown, but there is a tendency where the oppressed always tend to imbibe the values of the oppressor. So the Ray hat man, in those days, LFF, he was more cruel than the district commissioner. He said, go green that man. By the time you reach the way they're carrying you, you'll be half dead. You see, so it's not surprising that those who ascended to leadership had absorbed the values of those who they overthrew. To be for them, to be a Richard Henrys, you had to have power, you had to subject people to torture and all that kind of thing. To be a president, you had to have, when we say, hey, people should move. Such was reflected in the military leadership we had.
Let me come to Councillor Gongdo before we go to the lines. We usually hear, leaders are good. Doe was a good leader. His developmental drive, Toba, his developmental drive, they really wanted to do better than, but the people around them, how do people influence leaders, and why is it significant for leaders to be...
My experience working with Dr. Sawyer and working in the mansion for 4 years is that paid advisors are not good advisors. The advice that Dr. Sawyer used to get that were genuine, I was young in my 30s, were the advice that he got from people like Momo Jones, Joseph Finlay, Clarence Simpson, Sheikh Kafumba, people, Stephanie Sisse, those people, because they were not on payroll and they wouldn't do nothing to remain on payroll. They come and advise you. There were times, and Dag and I used to joke about it. He will call and say, we are going to Banjul for ECOWAS meeting, and these are the issues. Advisors, what you say? They were smart. In fact, most of the advisors were from top time. The President, what do you think about, what was your initial thought about this? As soon as he gave an initial thought, they would turn to each other. And I simply was thinking, Mr. President, you're right, you're on the right track.
Wow.
And so the lesson I learned from there is that your advisors around you that are on payroll are not real advisors. They think about it, learn, and tend to know what you want to hear, what will not offend you, because they want to remain on the payroll. They want to be on the next presidential trip abroad. They want to bring their relatives.
They want to make the president feel fine.
Exactly. So they don't offend the president. So if the president wants to do right, you have to listen to other people. They have to listen to people like you. to know what is happening, because people build a wall around presidents. And if you didn't have an original idea of your own, you're not strong to carry it, you just go on. Then you wear the emperor's new clothing. But what I want to say before you go to the line is that what is wrong with Liberia? This self over the interest, the majority, the interest of the people. It has gone from one generation to another. It's still that way today. And this is what destroyed Haiti. Haiti and Liberia were the two countries, black countries, that gained independence in the 1800s, 1804, 1847. Today, Haiti is down. I'm afraid that Liberia could become Haiti because
Haiti is quite chaotic. It's like
no. You know
they
what is
hardly even have a good.
But you know what is happening here? If your laptop is stolen now, you go down Center Street. If it's stolen, they will tell you, "Oh, I'll get it for you." The police people are now in relationship with the gangs. They have gang leaders. We have organized crime there.
Mm-hmm.
That is how Haiti started. So gradually the gangs took over Haiti. From Papa Dog to Baby Dog, high level corruption with high level of elitism, some people way up there, and the rest of the people so poor, wretched, to the extent that they didn't care. And so the gangs, those people became the people that the gangs recruited, and they were in majority compared to the small elite society went asunder. It is gradually happening here. If our president today can be carrying a 1-point-something million car in the midst of poverty like this, it's unacceptable. Joe was talking about leadership. What a leader does is what people follow. And you put in the press, the press is the most important and effective instrument of social transformation. It can destroy society, it can build society. When I spoke at the World Press Day on Saturday at the City Hall, I said, I've been fighting all my life as a lawyer for 36 years, freeing your journalists from jail, going to magistrate court, going to the Ministry of Justice and all that. But I'm not prepared to fight for mercenary journalists. Those ones that receive information about massive corruption, and instead of exposing it, go to the minister and say, I got something on you. But you give me something, I will expose it. Or those who election time receive money to lie on people who could be elected as representatives and senators and president and transform this country. And they use money to destroy them. Those mercenary journalists, I say I will not defend them.
Certainly.
But that's where we are.
Let me just take 1 minute of your time before I go to the lines. We'll take a few calls. If President Boaga were to call you, maybe for some advice or to have a conversation, what would you say?
Just be upright. Sincerely, fight corruption. Sincerely. That's why I would tell him. Fortunately, I know President Boakai very well. I owe him. If I were a bootlegger, I'm a nephew, he saved my life for 13 months. We both were in exile in Accra, Ghana. Because he liked my principles, he made Ellen to commission me to transform the Liberia Marketing Association. But because corruption was too heavy, one day I said he should recuse me from the position. And he laughed. So let that be my answer. He laughed. And so the people asked him, but Kokoro telling you something serious, you laughing? President Boakai did, as vice president, say yes, because I've been expecting this to happen.
Wow.
That I will say, I want to resign, I don't want a job. They ask him why. To my poro, he said because Kokoro doesn't want corruption. He's not corrupt.
Wow.
You know what I expected him to do then? To refuse my request. To step down because he needed somebody to clean the place. So he should have told me no. But he never. And that drifted me away from him to the extent that he's president today. I haven't even gone to tell him thank you. I'm a lawman man as my uncle. I'm supposed to even protect him in such a way where nobody making shit, right? But that's what between me and Boaka. I wish now he could get me a position to help him fight because people can change. As a matter of fact, that Boaka then used to say, but fight from inside. So we fought from inside. He has fought successfully from inside. But he must have had a purpose to fight from inside so that you do the requisite thing. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where I start. Now I see him.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Oh, go on. 1 second. But listen, this point he mentioned, you know, when I said I am surprised that President Boaka will send his Guinean man back because I know that he himself ran away from Doe in the 80s. What if Jerry Rawlings had sent him back?
Oh, wow.
Yes. You heard he was in exile.
Oh.
Yeah, Parodo.
This is why it is good to have these conversations.
He ran away from Liberia. It was for his safety. He was in Ghana too. What if Rawlings are saying back? How come this Liberia that is meant to be a land of refuge, people run away? George Weah did send a policeman back. Somebody come from Guinea come. And since the countries around gained independence from the 1960s, nobody has sent Liberian back before. The recent one was Costa when the Liberian government went in and said, no, we got international obligation. We can't send them back. What's wrong with us?
Wow.
Another promise betrayed.
777-700-995, 555-995. Just few calls. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, quickly.
Here, see Imana and Tuba Jr. of the Interlegal District 14. I want to say again, good evening to these bright minds of Liberia. Julius, this is the first time I heard that someone here being helped by President Joseph Boakai while a vice president. I must give it out because I've been wishing to see who would come and testify openly that President Boakai ever became a help to them. But fact foul, I want to appreciate your one. I hope that your uncle
I encountered two of the progressive exterior when I was superintendent. I saw Councillor Chewon Gongo. We had a lengthy conversation while I was superintendent. I saw him as a man who have always been there for when we were in all of these advocates and other things. So the next person I encountered was JS, like I call him, Mr. Smart.
Stewart.
He went to me. Yes, Stewart, Stewart. He went to me, we had a conversation, and it was good. It was good. He has always been good, and I always learn from these people. But I think it's good that you bring them on at time. Sometimes we forget about the regular politics. And just have conversation, national conversation, and how the country is supposed to progress. What are some of the problems? How can we solve these problems? And I think bringing them to the studio was no mistake. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the three of them in the studio. Okay,
thanks so kindly. Welcome. Quickly, welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thanks so kindly, Big Brother Julius. Thanks for the opportunity given me. Big Brother Julius, I just like to call your attention.
What is your name?
The name remains Big Brother. I won't begin.
What's your name? Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay. Thank you. I think you already know the name.
What's your name? Let the public know your name.
Okay, but since you wanted to call my name, no problem. The name remains Cabinet S. Sofana. Big Brother, I want to drag your attention to something. You see this Emmanuel who always calling from Duke.
Okay, thanks so kindly. That's not what we're here for. We're having a serious conversation. You won't be talking about someone else. 777-700-995, 555-995. Let's see who's coming in. This will be the final one. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Julian, how are you? This is Johnson Koa.
Yes, go ahead quickly.
I'm Johnson Koa. I come from Johnson. But you've done originally this program, but I failed to recognize one person, Giovanna Tipote. Is he around?
He's here. He's here. Maybe I'll bring him soon. Finally, from overseas, welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon to you, my brother. Thanks for the program today. I want to just firstly quickly commend the people in the studio.
What's your name, first of all?
My name is Ernest Ture. I'm a Liberian as well, born 1986 September 22nd, and just to tell you, me and many young Liberians, even including you, are victims of the atrocities, corruptions, and injustice that have engulfed that country where we see it going nowhere. Just the counselor and the other colleagues in studio, it just gives me hope that it just reaffirms my message that Liberia still have good people in that country that can make some strides if we just have the right leaders who want to listen. You know, and when he is called on Liberia going back to the U.S., I mean, going back from the U.S. and other places to go help Liberia, it's a just cause, it's a great cause. But the call can only be important and really succeed if the leaders who are in charge are making the right decisions so that will encourage some of us to say want to go back to Liberia. But thank you, and I really appreciate the conversation, brother.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Finally, Hassan Ability says, my math instructor at St. Patrick's told me this before when I was in the 10th grade. His name was Brother Thomas. He said, Ability, what do you want to be when you grow up? I told him I wanted to be a teacher. Then he asked if I had patience. I told him no. Then he remarked, you are what you think, conceive, and believe. Many years later, I began to understand if we don't believe in our own abilities, we won't make progress. We must chart our own course ourselves based on our own beliefs. That's from Hassan Ability. We come to you, so just 30 seconds each to wrap up.
Well, thank you for having me and my comrades. And I thank you very much for this kind of dialogue. It will help us to get to where we want the masses to get to. It will get them consciousness, awareness, and help them to adapt some attitude, positive attitude towards the development. Now, because here the question is equity. Yes. So
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes, for me, I would just like to say thanks, first of all, for having me here. But I would like to say that two things. Firstly, I think we have been following a wrong path to national development and full utilization of our fullest potential.